So today we're gonna talk about the 5 biggest mistakes I've made in my real estate career. First one, not setting expectations. Every real estate transaction is a little bit different. Now, there's some sort of standard of how things are done, but we have to be able to pivot every time something changes. And for me, my biggest thing now is setting that expectation that, hey, things might go a little bit different according to plan, and here's the 3 or 4 ways we might need to change course. Before, earlier in my career, I really didn't do that because I didn't have enough experience to understand that every deal was different. I thought, okay, you put on something on the contract, goes through inspection, closes, we're fine. Now, because I've done many deals, I have the opportunity to see how things are going to go if it goes really well, and if something goes really bad, and how do we approach that. So for example, deadlines and timelines in real estate contracts. So yes, there are, I would say, some things that are set in stone, but honestly, real estate as a whole is just one big negotiation. So when things aren't working out well, or you might not reach a timeline, there's an opportunity that you can negotiate with the seller or buyer to move that timeline. Number 2, not letting the deal fall apart over inspection items. So when I first started my career, my thought process was I want the house to be perfect before my client moves in. I think most clients think that too as well. And what I realized, it isn't about the house being perfect and nothing being broken, it's what does that client feel comfortable with in order to move forward. To give you an example, I had a client a long time ago when I first started, there was water in the basement when we did an inspection. And for me, I was like, hey, this is crazy. I don't think you should buy this home. But for them, the home fit every one of their needs. It was the right neighborhood, the right price point, the right amount of bedrooms, the right school district, and the water in the basement was just something that they needed to fix. So at the end of the day, when it comes to inspection items, now the way I look at it is, what do you feel comfortable with in order to move forward? I try my best to put people point them in the right direction when it comes to referral partners who can fix certain things, like plumbers, handymen, roofers, things of that nature, so they can kind of understand what that cost will be now and a little bit in the future. Number 3, taking things too personal. So a lot of people who do know me, I do wear my emotions on my sleeve, and I'm a very, fiery person. And for me, when things happen early in my career, I took it really personal. When an agent didn't reach back out to me in a timely manner, when agents were late, or a client showed up late, or someone didn't communicate the right way, like they're texting me at 10 p.m. And I give you an example. This one's great. So I had an agent I was working with, and she was determined to fax everything back to me. So I would send it through DocuSign, digital way to sign, and she would print it out, sign it, and then fax it. And I thought it was the most annoying thing ever. I took it really personal. This deal, even though we got the home and it closed to my client, it was the most stressful thing because I was so wrapped up on, why is she doing this to me? This makes my job harder. But honestly, at the end of the day, like now that I think about it, everyone has their own processes, and it's my job to figure out what works for them and kind of make it as smooth as possible for my clients. And the reason why I don't take things personal anymore, because real estate's incredibly emotional. Like my clients, whether you're buying or selling, have a lot going on. They have a lot to think about. They love the home, they don't love it, they're thinking about their family. And for me to add my kind of personal struggles to their emotional stress, not a good combination. So I realized, don't take things personal. Everyone has their own process, and just move on. Number 4, being too technical. So I love numbers. My brain is literally a Google spreadsheet. Like everything is in a list, everything is a formula. That's just how I work. And with real estate, you can get very technical with it. Like looking at CMAs, comparable properties, trying to figure out the value of things, how much something's worth, what it costs to fix an item. So you can get it down to the nitty gritty and get a very technical number. But real estate's incredibly emotional. And if I get too technical with it and I let a client know, hey, this stove costs exactly $467. And if they don't give you $467, you gotta walk away. That's not how this works. Like it's all negotiation. Like the numbers are there, it is helpful, but it's what the buyer and the seller have to agree to in order to make the transaction move forward. So for me, I actually am still very technical, but I give a kind of like a caveat to my clients when I start. I say, hey, I'm a very technical person. I'm gonna give you the numbers exactly how I see them, but real estate has a huge emotional part to it, and we also have to factor it in when we're making decisions. And lastly, not stressing stressing the importance of using the right team. So earlier in my career, I would let my clients use whoever they want. And honestly, let me put it this way. You should use whoever you want. Like, you want to use your own lender, your own attorney, your own inspector, by all means, you should. But the issue with that is, how did you find that person? Did you just go online and like click up inspector and like pick the best one? Did you get a lender that sent you something in the mail and you thought that was really good marketing? Like, real estate has a ton of relationships in it. It's like being a realtor is like being your family doctor. It sounds weird, but your family doctor can't do your surgery. Your family doctor isn't your dentist, but they're gonna give you a recommendation and referral to the best person that they know. So if you go to your family doctor and say, hey, I'm having really bad allergies, and they say, oh, I'm gonna recommend you this allergist. You say, no, I saw this guy online, I'm gonna go out and see what he is about. They're gonna let you do that, but here's a recommendation from Northwestern Hospital. You should probably really look into it. I look at real estate the same way now. I'm not going to do your mortgage, I'm not gonna do your inspection, but here's my strong recommendations. Here are 3 people I really love working with. And it's not really love working with them, is I've already done the process of vetting out who's good and who's bad at it. I've gone through 6 attorneys. I've gone through 17 inspectors. Like, I've already done the dirty work for you. So earlier in my career, I didn't have those referral partners, so my clients kind of picked whoever they wanted. And sometimes it did not turn out well. Attorneys who have not done transactions enough to understand how to talk to an HOA, or they think everything's a fight and it's very aggressive, or lenders who don't work locally and they don't understand like how taxes work. I'll give you an example of why I strongly recommend my referral partners. I have a client right now, they are selling their home and also buying a new home. And there's a lot of things that go into that process, timelines, things of that nature. But the new home they're buying is new construction, and the home that they're selling is just like a regular, normal 3-story walk-up condo. Now, the attorney that I have on this, Alex Ranja, you're my man, he does, 70 to 100 real estate transactions a month. So he sees a lot. And we had trouble on the sell and the buy, to the point that my client and I had a conversation and said, I am so glad that they're on this deal, because we don't think any other real estate attorney could get us through this. And I wholeheartedly believe that. And I go back to the earlier deals in my career, there's probably 7 people that should have got their home if they had the right attorney. So those were the 5 biggest mistakes that I made in my career. Why is this important? Because a right realtor will not only have the experience, but also have the ability to learn from it to make sure you get the home you're looking for.